Hello, good evening. My name's Richard. This is Over and Over and Over Again, and this is our nightly Euros live show. Lots coming up tonight. We're going to preview, of course, the England game tomorrow against Northern Ireland, the final group game. We can relax a little bit where that game can't, because we've already qualified and won the group, but it's going to be a good game anyway. We're going to also look at the game currently going on in Group D between France and Belgium, which France are winning 1-0. That was following Italy 1, Iceland 1 earlier on. Looks as though France are going to win this group as well. And also as well, we will be joined by Andreas, who's going to tell us about his trip down to London, which looked like it was good fun, and talk about obviously Germany's qualification as well for the last eight. Loads of other stuff as well coming up the other side of this.
We'll be alright with Ellen White. Take the lead with Beth Mead. Williamson gets the job done, and Lauren Hemp is heaven sent. Hear the lionesses roar. Left foot, right foot, header. Left foot, right foot, head. I'm supporting England 'cause it's left foot, right foot, head.
So good evening and welcome to the show. Welcome to Andreas back in Germany again. It's been a while, hasn't it? Did you have a good trip to London?
Yeah, back in Germany. I had a fantastic week in London. Perfect weather, 3 fantastic football matches, great atmosphere in the country, seeing how the atmosphere develops for the Euro, and it was a great time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we talk about the games and stuff, because I agree with you. I think the atmosphere around the whole competition has been fantastic. The atmosphere inside the stadiums, outside, what they're doing on the day of the games and everything, it's been fantastic. So it's great that we've been able to experience it, isn't it, as well? Some games, and obviously we've enjoyed our own country's performances so far, haven't we, as well? I'm sure we'll get onto that as well. I mean, before we kind of get onto the England game tomorrow, which I do want to look at, obviously, you've witnessed at first hand Germany's serene kind of move into the quarterfinals with 2 big wins actually against the 2 stronger teams in the group. What it looked like being, didn't it? We were worried about how them games might go, and in the end, Germany won them both, scoring 6 goals, not conceding any. I thought Germany showed both aspects of their game: good attacking play against Denmark, and then a really good defensive performance against Spain. And that kind of makes them, for me, obviously, apart from England, probably the favourites to go all the way in the competition. And of course, the good news is, as you mentioned on your vlog, obviously England and Germany now can't meet until the final, should we both get there. But I mean, you must really have enjoyed those 2 very different Germany performances in many ways, wasn't they?
Yes, you're absolutely right. Against Denmark, Germany was the dominating team, and especially in the second half, ruthless in front of the goal. But all the time attacking and dominating. And the second match, you can't prevent Spain from creating chances, from having ball possession. I read that they had 70% ball possession. That's fantastic. And but on the other hand, you have to say ball possession scores no goals and wins no matches. You have to score. And in the second half there was a lot of pressure, and the defense from the Germans were under a lot of pressure, and Spain had chances, but not so many 100% chances that you say this must have been a goal. It was a lot of ball possession, a lot of trying, and this tiki-taka we know, but the Germans defended very, very well. The chances the Spains had, there was in first half, after 10 minutes, when one Spanish player was alone against the goalkeeper, and she only hit the net outside. Then in the second half, Merle Froms, the German goalkeeper, had a fantastic reaction with one hand when she put the ball over the crossbar. But Yeah, all the other time, a lot of ball possession, but no real goal threat. And the Germans.
Oh, look, Belgium have just equalised against France. Wow, that's a shock. It's a good goal, actually. Poor defending, but it was well taken. Slid in and knocked it past the keeper. So
Yeah.
Belgium have got level with France. That keeps this group alive, doesn't it? Keep this group interesting going into the light. If it finishes like, I mean, it's still 10 minutes to go until half time. But it was a lovely goal, actually. A good ball from this near side. Oh, there might be an offside. I think she's offside, actually. I don't think it's going to count. I think she was offside in the build-up. But a lovely little finish. Got in front of Reynard and poked it in. Wow. I don't think it's going to count now, looking at the replay. She looks offside in the build-up to that, the captain who just fed the ball through. Which is a shame, actually, because it was a nice little goal, that. But I don't think it's going to count anyway, but we'll see. At the moment, it has. They're doing a VAR check. But I think that might get ruled out. I'll be surprised if this stands, having just seen the replay. But anyway, we'll see. Sometimes it's difficult to check from the angle that you get, isn't it, if it is exactly offside. But she does look offside in just before she played the ball through for the goal. I think when she received the ball, she was offside. But we'll see. I've got a feeling it might get disallowed. We'll just have to wait for this decision. There's been quite a few VAR goals, hasn't there, in this VAR decisions in this competition so far. Most of them they've got right, to be fair. And let's see. It's given. It's goal given. It's been given. Yeah, VAR's going to give it. It's a goal. It's 1-1.
In German TV, it's still goal check.
Oh, is it? Oh, you must be slightly behind. But no, it's been given. VAR has just confirmed it, or the referee's just confirmed that VAR has given the goal. It did look offside, but we don't get the best angle sometimes, I suppose. But it's been given anyway. So Belgium are level. So that's a bit of excitement on the evening. I wasn't expecting that, I must be honest. I thought France would win this game. I mean, they still may do, but I thought it would be quite comfortable for them. But fair play to Belgium. They've got themselves level. And we are kind of cutting in towards half time. So if it finishes 1-1 at half time, then Belgium will fancy their chances of maybe still being able to make progress out of the group, which could be this group could be the one with the shocks in it. Maybe it was Cayman with the goal anyway, number 11 for Belgium, and it counts. So, but I mean, going back to Germany, Andreas. I mean, I think that they've been, apart from England, probably the most complete team at the tournament at both ends of the pitch, haven't they?
So far, yes. I thought France had a good start in the tournament, but now they have their problems.
Yeah. They conceded 2 goals, France, as well now. And, Germany and England haven't conceded any. And I think that could be the difference ultimately when it comes down to the knockout.
Yeah, both teams, England and Germany, are real teams. There's one helps the other. If one loses a ball or makes a mistake, then there are 2 others that are helping. And this is extremely to be seen in these 2 teams. I don't know what happened in pre-camps in both teams, but there must have been something that they are such a unit, that they are such a team and have such a team spirit. Even the players that come in as subs, they fit in, and you don't realize that there was a change made. So the Germans, I'm really astonished how good they are playing, and according to VAR. I must say this, it's unbelievable that this wasn't a red card when Irene Paredes stopped as last stopped Alex Pop. It was a clear foul, and okay, if the referee doesn't see it, then the VAR must check it. And there was no VAR check.
No.
They would have checked.
I mean, that was. Yeah.
But no check. What did they do in their cellar? What did they do?
I don't know what they were doing, but no, I agree. That should have been a red card. But ultimately, it didn't. It didn't make any difference to the final result. Germany still won fairly comfortably.
The Danes, Irene Paredes is one of the best defenders in Europe, and if she would have been out with a red card,
that's a fair point, actually. Yeah.
Has influence on the Danish match.
Yeah, possibly actually. Yeah, no, that's sort of, yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Maybe, yeah, possibly will. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I agree. It should have been a red card. It was looked blatantly obvious when you first saw it. Not let alone looking at replays. It was clear, and it was a shock that wasn't given. But I say overall, I do feel as though the refereeing has been pretty decent in the tournament overall. Yes, 1 or 2 decisions. Oh, France have just scored again. France have gone back in front. Belgium wasn't level for very long. They didn't clear a corner, and it's been rifled in. I can't see who the scorer is yet. Number 19 it is actually who scored. I think she scored in the first game as well. It was a corner, but Belgium didn't really clear it. In fact, it was a header from France, came back in. It was played back in, and then it was headed in from inside the 6-yard box, like a diving header. Good goal, actually, a good finish. Just more desire to want that ball there, the forward for France. Put that in, good goal. France are back in front then, as we kind of expected they may well be. Yes. I feel Belgium needed to hang on till half time, baby, to feel as though they could get something out of the game. But France's quality has come through again, and they switched off, didn't they, briefly for the goal? But now they've, it's been put back right for them. They've got themselves back in front, and you'd imagine now they've got the platform to go on and win this game, win the group, and qualify for the next, which you kind of expect them to do anyway. So that's not a shock. So, but yeah. So I mean, what have you made of? Obviously, you spent a week or so in London. You went to 3 games. What have you made of the whole Euro experience?
Yeah, I said it today in our German talk. I think the atmosphere is growing. When I arrived one day after the opening match, it was not so much to be seen that there is a Euro tournament in England. I missed some hints in the streets or so, but it developed. And it developed, of course, because of the Lionesses had such a good start. First the 1-0, then the 8-0. This was something very important. And on Monday, I was at Piccadilly Circus, and there are these big screens, and they were all over with the Lioness players, and then the Euro logo was to be seen, and nearly in outside of every pub you find tonight Women's Euro live, and then the match, and only after this what they offer to eat. So fish and chips, 10 pounds or so. But the highlight line above is tonight Euros match. And this developed within the week. And as I said before, it's very important that the English team plays such a good role and hopefully stays in the tournament for very long. I was wearing the English shirt when I was going around or driving with the tube, and one guy saw this and said, this is the Linus shirt. Yes. So whom are we going to play in the final now? Not the final. It's still group stage. Yeah, but we have won everything. So, yes, you've won everything, but not yet in the final. So
no.
Well, the people realize there is a big tournament in the country, and the Lionesses are doing a great job. But most of them, they don't know how many matches are to be played. What about group stage or the knockout round? It develops, but everything helps. Every win of the English team helps, and of course, for the atmosphere, the fantastic weather helps. It's just it's like a summer fairy tale for the country at the moment.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I've been to a couple of games. Obviously, we was at the Old Trafford for the first game, and we saw Sweden play the Netherlands on Saturday. That was a really good game. Fantastic atmosphere. That was, I mean, we were near the Swedish fans, so we had the atmosphere from the Swedish fans. It was just fantastic. Absolutely brilliant atmosphere. And outside the ground before the game, we went past a pub. It was a Dutch pub. So they all come out in orange with flags, and it was just amazing. Colourful. Everybody's respectful of everybody else. I had a little chat to a couple of Swedish fans at half time. Obviously, they were winning at the time, and they were really excited about how they'd been playing and the tournament in general. And it's just great how everybody's kind of coming together with it now. And yes, there's people that maybe don't follow football that are now aware that there's a tournament going on in England, and hopefully they might start to get excited and get involved in it a little bit, which would be great. But yeah, I mean, it's been, my experience of it has been fantastic, and hopefully it will continue. Like you said, I agree. The longer England stay in, the further England go. If England go all the way to the final, then the excitement's going to build and build, isn't it, after each game? And hopefully the win the other night has made a big difference as well. I think more people are talking about it. I mean, I went into work I was in the office on Tuesday. The first thing everybody said was, "Oh, what a brilliant game last night." And these are people that don't tend to follow football particularly, and certainly don't follow women's football generally. And even they were saying how excited they were by watching the Lionesses win 8-0. So it's fantastic that this is happening now, and women's football hopefully now is going to get the recognition it deserves from a wider audience, and I've seen that happening already. I mean, a lot of the people that have been going to the games, not so much the England game, but when we went to the Sweden Holland game in particular, there were people there at the game that had never been to a women's game before. They were obviously the game was in Sheffield. They were local from Sheffield. They'd never been to a women's game before, and they turned up, bought tickets, and went to the game and enjoyed it, and I thought it was brilliant. And to me, that this is what this tournament's going to provide, and this is what hopefully the outcome is going to be for women's football later on down the line. But it's been fantastic. I mean, what they're doing at the games with the fan parks outside the stadium, all the stuff they've got going on, the atmosphere outside, it's just fantastic. It's just a party atmosphere, isn't it? Everybody's enjoying themselves. There's no trouble. There's no hassle. It's just fantastic. It's the sun's out, the weather's nice, and you can sit in the stadium and enjoy the football. And it's just been brilliant. And yeah, I mean, after we were driving back from the game at Sheffield last Saturday, the Sweden-Holland game, and we actually booked tickets for the knockout game at Rotherham next Saturday, which is going to be the winner of Group D, which looks like it's going to be France against the runners-up in Group C, which could be Holland or Sweden again. And we just booked tickets for it. We just enjoyed it so much. And even though it's not involving England, we have got tickets for the England semi-final, the semi-final that England will be in if we win the quarter-final. So we're looking forward to that. But now we've got tickets to that game as well, just because the experience is just brilliant. And, hopefully more and more people that's been to games, one game or two games, wants to go to more now. I know there's not many tickets available, but for the knockouts, but it's certainly the interest is there. And it's been and it's great that, you had such a great experience yourself of coming over here. And what was the ABBA thing like? You got your ABBA t-shirt on. Did you enjoy that as well?
Yeah, this was fantastic concert too. It's not football related now, but you see in the tube stations, it must have been seen to be believed, and this is absolutely correct. If you know ABBA from the 70s of the last century, you will absolutely love this concert. Yeah, it's amazing and unbelievable that they are still in their 20s and standing on the stage and dancing. You can see them dance on the stage. They are not real, and you see them on big screens, and you see their faces and everything. It's perfect, and the music is fantastic. So this was another point that I say it was just worth being there for a week. Fantastic, and fantastic atmosphere all around, and during or before and after the matches, absolutely friendly atmosphere between the supporters of both countries. So after the Denmark match, I was walking with Danish fans back to the tube station, and I made a mistake. I didn't got to Kew Bridge station, which is nearby Brentford Stadium. I was walking to the next underground station, and Danish fans too. And of course, they were not happy. They lost 4-0, but there was not a single angry word against go away German, also because I was wearing the German shirt on this evening, of course. No, it was just friendly, and they were also enjoying the atmosphere, or enjoying being part of this tournament. And that's what counts. There is no hatred, no angry behavior. It's just friendship between the supporters, just how it should be. That's the football we love, and it's the fair play between the teams on the pitch, and so I think so are the supporters behaving, and that's nearly perfect for the whole tournament, for the whole development of women's football. I hope so, that a lot of people will now go to the match and say, okay, I saw a few minutes on TV, that's okay, it seems to be okay, let's go to a match. And then after the match, we say, this was great, let's go to the league matches then in September.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've seen a few people have, put comments on some of the groups saying that, now they've watched the Euros on telly, they want to go to WSL games when the season starts, stuff like that. And I think that's great. And hopefully next season we'll see slightly bigger crowds at some of the games. I'm hoping so, because they deserve a bigger audience, don't they? And I think, when you listen to some of the Lionesses when they've been speaking after the games, they've been saying about the crowd and how much they've enjoyed playing in front of such a big crowd. And hopefully, when we get back to the WSL season, that excitement, I mean, if England do manage to win the competition, then hopefully the excitement will carry on into the start of the season and people will come along with it and want to be at games. I'm hoping so. But they certainly deserve to be playing in front of these big crowds. And you can see the difference. I mean, we've been to WSL games when, there's 1,000 people in, maybe a bit more. And you can see the difference when we was at Sheffield, there was 21,000, fantastic. There was 68,000 at Old Trafford I was at. There was 20,000 odds. No, was it 17,000 at Brentford when you was there, nearly sold out stadiums. Fantastic. And that's what women's football deserves. It deserves to get crowds like that watching it, because it's such great football. And, I can't understand. What I find difficult to understand is a lot of people who are fans of men's football, watch men's football. They say, I'm a football fan, I love football. Oh, well, why don't you watch women's football? No, women's football's rubbish. It's like, well, if you're a football fan and you like football, what's there not to like about women's football? You know what I mean? How can you not like women's football if you like football? It's just, it's basically top level football without a lot of the negative side that you get with men's football, isn't it? So you're taking out all the negative stuff, and what you're left with a fantastic product that everybody who loves football should be able to enjoy. So hopefully this tournament will help bridge that gap maybe for the next season and going forward. I hope so, because I agree with you that the atmosphere has been amazing. The fans have just got on, the respect that there's been for everybody, and it's just been fantastic. And it's been an uplifting experience to be at the games. Actually, we came out of that. I've been to thousands of football matches in my time over the years, all over Europe and stuff, and I can't remember feeling that when we were coming out of the ground at the end of that game, it was a game that was involving two countries that we don't have any particular allegiance to necessarily. We just came out and you did just such a high from just being there and experiencing how great it was, and it was fantastic. And I say we literally on the way home booked tickets for the knockout game just because we just wanted to go to another game before the tournament finishing. So and hopefully more and more people will feel the same and want to be at games. And when the new season starts, let's hope that carries on. I think it's good that the games are on the telly all the time. I mean, obviously they must be on telly in Germany as well, are they? All the games?
Yes, we have it on the private broadcaster, The Zone. They broadcast every match live. But the normal TV stations like ARD or ZDF, that's like BBC 1 or 2, they bring the German matches and some highlight matches. I would wish that more people have this experience and say, yes, that's real football and I like it, I will go there again. Because most people who say, women's football, that's rubbish, they can't play. When you ask them and say, and how many women's football matches did you see? No, nothing. I don't watch it. They say it's rubbish, but they don't watch it. So that's the problem. Just give it a chance. You don't have to compare it with men's football. It's two different sports. It's football, but you don't compare women's athletics or swimming or something else with men's. It's two different things. And you don't say, she swims a lot. She swims not as fast as the man, and she would be on 8th or 10th place if she would swim with a man. No, you don't compare this.
No. I 100% agree. I mean,
everybody compares this in football. Why? It's two different sports, but it's also football. It's technical, fantastic. and of course they're playing. If there's a foul, they stand up and continue playing. If there's a referee's decision, they say, "Oh, that's a wrong decision," but then they continue playing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just hope that as more money comes into the women's game, and it's starting to come in now, isn't it, with the TV deals and this and the other sponsorships and stuff, I'm hoping that that doesn't change too much. Inevitably, when there's more at stake, that's what's happened with the Premier League in England, certainly, where there's so much money now that I think it's had a negative effect on everything. The way that teams play, they're too negative in their tactics, they're too scared to lose games because how much is at stake. And I hope that doesn't creep into the women's game as more money comes in. It's difficult because it needs more money, it needs more exposure, but ultimately we don't want it to change too much because of how great it is as things are. But it's managed to get to where it is now from where it was without really losing what it's all about so far. But it hasn't really had the investment yet, has it? So we'll have to see how that works. But yeah, I mean, I agree. A lot of people have a negative opinion of women's football without really watching it properly. They might have seen a couple of clips on YouTube from 15 years ago where the goalkeepers completely missed the ball, or a defender's scored an own goal. That's what women's football's like. Well, no, actually it's not. Actually watch it and you'll see it's not like that now. Maybe 15 years ago the standard wasn't as high. It wasn't. There's no, but that's before. That's not now. Watch it now and see what it's like now, because just the quality at the top of the game is incredible. The technical ability of these players, the fitness, everything. It's just they're just to me it's no different to watching men. I don't look on it as any different to watching men's football, if I'm honest. The atmosphere in the stadium's different, but when I watch the game, I'm just watching football. That's all I'm watching. And football, which is a sport I love watching, and this is what it is, and it's brilliant. And yeah, I think more people need to to kind of get involved in it, really. Terry's in the chat. He says, good evening, Richard. Good evening, Andreas. He says, looking a bit more alive tonight. You looked a bit shattered the other day. You did look quite tired, but you've had a busy week, and it was obviously late as well, wasn't it, when that goes
and the emotions and the adrenaline.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, I understand that 100%. I mean, I feel like that after most games. Terry says, you must be pleased with the way the Germans have started. Well, yeah, we mentioned that already. Yeah, they've been brilliant, haven't they? Them and England have been the two best teams so far, but yes, it's still early days. We know that. Luca's in the chat. Luca as well, mate. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're well. Terry says, I'll apologise now as we're talking about respect between supporters, but when we beat you in the final, Andreas, I'll be giving you plenty of stick. Well, let's not get carried away yet, Terry. Let's do what Serena said. Let's keep our feet on the ground. Let's be calm. Let's take one game at a time. But
final, and then
let's get to the final first. Then we worry about that. Terry says, 100% agree. Yeah, I mean, that's just the way it should be. But unfortunately, it's going to take a lot longer, I think, for a lot of these opinions on women's football to really change. It's going to take a long time, but hopefully we're moving in the right direction, and that's all we can hope for. And hopefully this tournament can move it to that next level. So, but the whole thing does come down to, as you said before, Andreas, and you did right. The success of England is going to determine exactly what impact this tournament has on women's football in this country, and maybe elsewhere as well, but certainly in England. And so far, we couldn't have asked for much better from our team, could we, really? Yes, the Austria game I was at was a bit nervy at times, especially the second half. You're a bit, I'm not sure what's going to happen. We didn't quite look on it. But the Norway game was just incredible. That first half in particular, I don't think I've seen. There was a 20-minute spell in that first half when we scored, I think, the third, fourth, fifth and sixth goals, where we were. I've never seen football like that at a top level tournament against a team of Norway's quality, and they're a good team, Norway. Let's remember that. They're not Latvia, or they're not some of these other teams that we've beaten 10-0 and stuff. These are a top quality team. They're rated in the top 15 in the world. They're a very, very good team. And that football that we played was just, it almost took your breath away watching it. It was like, wow, this is just, I've never seen an England team, men or women's team, play football like that ever in a tournament, certainly. And it was just incredible. I mean, you didn't get to watch much of that live, did you? Because was that night when ABBA was on?
I saw the replay from the English match meanwhile, and I was at the ABBA concert when England was playing. So when I came out, it was my iPhone showed 6-0, and I thought, this can't be. And Amam made this joke with the Norwegians ate too much, and I thought another joke, but it was real. And now I saw the replay, and as you said, it was fantastic performance, especially between minute 15 and minute 40. So
that's what I mean. Yeah, that spell there was just wow.
And there were a lot more chances. Alan White and Lauren Hemp had chances to score at least 2 more goals in the first half, and it was like a hurricane blowing Norway away. And the fact for the Norwegians is, if you are in such a match 4-0, 5-0 behind, then it's impossible to come back. They were just trying to the end, and please let it be over. This was everything they could think, and but England didn't give up, or they just continued attacking and being dominant in the second half, and well deserved 2 more goals. It was fantastic performance. On German TV, when I saw the replay, they said the English defense had not to show whether they are good or not, because Austria defended most but was not attacking, and Norway was just not taking part in the game. So English defense has still to prove that it is as good as the midfield or the attacking line.
No, you're right. I mean, we haven't really been tested defensively in the 2 games, have we? Because Austria didn't really put us under much pressure. We were a bit nervy in the game, and then obviously Norway didn't have an opportunity to, because after we got the lead, we just absolutely wiped them away. But what impressed me about the second half was the fact that, even though we were 6-0 up, and you've seen it happen so many times, the second half, the team just, drifts along and doesn't play with much intensity and just sees the game out. Whereas what England did was, we did everything that we did in the first half in the second half as well, as though the game was 0-0. Yes, we didn't score as many goals in the second half. We did score 2 more, hit the crossbar, could have scored 2 or 3 others as well. But that was what impressed me the most, that they continued to keep doing what they've done in the first half well. Yes, maybe the intensity was slightly less in the second half, perhaps. You could say it may have been more slightly, but we didn't just drop off completely, as often happens, as France did in their game. They were 5-0 up against Italy at half-time. In the second half, they stopped playing, didn't they? France. Italy got back in the game, got a goal, and that's what we didn't do, and that's what really impressed me. I was a bit worried at half-time. Well, not worried at half-time. I was a little bit kind of thinking that the second half was going to be a bit of a waste of time, that the game would just fizzle out, but it didn't, because England kept doing what we were doing in the first half, and it was a joy to watch the second half as well. So that, and if we continue to do that in the rest of the tournament, or certainly when we get to the knockout stage next week, then we've got a real chance to get to the final. I don't necessarily at this moment want to say we can to win it, because we've seen the quality of some of the teams that there are. Germany, as we've mentioned. I mean, France are a good side, certainly a good attacking side. I think defensively they're not quite as strong as some of the other teams, but attacking wise, they're a very good team. There's Holland and Sweden are both very good teams as well. I think the knockouts are going to be difficult and tricky. Whoever we get, Spain, who we may well be playing, is going to be a tricky game, as you saw the other night when they played against Germany. So, but if we keep doing what we've been doing so far, then we're going to be a very difficult team to beat, and no one's going to want to play us. No one's going to enjoy playing against us because of how intense we're playing. We were 8-0 up in that game, 5 minutes to go, and we lost the ball, and everybody was fighting to get it back. It's like we're 8-0 up, and they were still fighting to get the ball back, and that's just brilliant to watch. Brilliant to watch. And if we continue doing that, then we've got a hell of a chance to go a long way, and hopefully go all the way to the final. And who knows, who might be waiting for us at Wembley at the end of July. We'll have to see how it all goes. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it, the way England are playing. Of course, tomorrow, though, the game against Northern Ireland is a tricky one, isn't it? Because do we make a lot of changes, risk losing the momentum some of the players are in, but saving their energy for the knockouts? Or do we stick with the team that's been playing to keep that momentum going? Because whatever 11 players we put out tomorrow, you would imagine we will have enough to beat Northern Ireland. No disrespect to Northern Ireland, they've given everything in the games they've played. They've worked so hard, but ultimately, in terms of quality, we've got a lot more quality in them, even in what technically you could say will be our second 11. I mean, what would you do if you were Serena tomorrow? Would you make some changes to the lineup to give other players minutes, or would you say I want to keep this momentum with the players that we've got and maybe start with a similar team and make the substitutions later on?
I would make a few changes, not too many. So I wouldn't change the whole team, but maybe 2-3 positions changing. There are players that need a rest, I think, and yeah, what we don't know is, well, there are tiny little injuries or little problems, maybe muscular problems. So I would give 2-3 players a rest, and then if the match develops as we all expected, that England is having the lead at halftime, then change another 3, 4, 5 players to give all the players minutes. That's also important.
Yeah, that is. You're right.
Everybody feels involved, and I think that was one of the important points in the second half against Norway. That even the subs that were coming in, they fitted in perfectly, and everybody was trying to push and to show that they are also a part of the team, and that Serena can bring them at every minute without problems, without thinking about it. So give them minutes. Try, of course, try to keep the momentum by keeping the most important players on it, but a few changes and later bringing the subs in. I think Northern Ireland should be beaten, no matter which player. If we bring Bethany England or I'm missing the names now. If you bring other players, they should still be able to beat Northern Ireland. Alex Greenwood will play, I'm sure, in defense. Maybe Jess Carter will get a chance. But I think Leah Williamson will lead the team as captain. Maybe she gives Georgia Stanway a rest or takes her off at halftime, because she's playing a very, very good tournament. And Lauren Hemp could get a rest. I don't know what to do with Beth Mead. She's on the way to Golden Boot. So
she's going for the Golden Boot. She's going for player of the tournament, and she's the only problem is how gutted would we all be if she played against Northern Ireland, picks up an injury, and has to miss the next game or the rest of the tournament, heaven forbid. So it's a risky one, isn't it? I personally would want to rest, though, if I'm honest. Wrap her in cotton wool until the quarterfinals and bring her out then, next week. But yeah, it is a tricky one, and I would expect to see maybe 4 or 5 changes actually to the team. I think. I agree. I think Alex Greenwood almost 100% is going to play. Maybe change the goalkeeper. Maybe give Ellie Roebuck a game, possibly. That can be a change. Jess Carter's a good shout. She maybe, perhaps could play left back, couldn't she, or right back even. Maybe rest Lucy there. I think Leah Williamson might play in midfield actually. Maybe give Kira Walsh a rest, possibly. So then you can play Alex Greenwood at the back with Millie Bright, and then put Leah in midfield. And maybe Georgia Stanway have a rest. Ella Toon can come in. We've got so many options. It's going to be interesting to see what the team lineup's going to be actually tomorrow, just to see what Serena does. She'll know how to manage the squad best. She knows what it takes to win a tournament, so she'll know which players need resting and what have you, and the momentum and stuff. So I have full faith in her to pick the right team for this game. And if it means, if it's 10 changes, 11 changes, if we win the game, it doesn't matter, does it? As Terry says there, save our energy and just get a 4-0 win. Yeah, Terry wants a 4-0 win, so he wins the CD, which is the beautiful game CD, of course, which, he gets 13 goals. So if we do win 4-0, he will win the CD. So that's what he's hoping for. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, we don't need to overexert ourselves. Let's get the win to make it 100% in the group. Terry says, it's a shame that watching the games on TV, you don't get how electric the atmosphere is until you watch yours, Andreas, Amar, and Matt's live vlogs. Yeah, to be honest with you, even in the vlogs, as great as they are, I still don't feel as they really captured exactly how great the atmosphere was in the stadium. It's difficult to actually recreate that on a video, I think. You have to be there to really experience it, unfortunately. But yeah, certainly you get more of a feel of the atmosphere on the vlogs than you do on the telly, because the telly isn't interested in giving you the atmosphere, particularly, are they? They're just interested in showing you the game, which is fair enough, I suppose. But yeah, you don't really pick it up on the telly as much. I must admit, I'm quite hoping that Iceland might play in one of the games that I go to, because their fans look absolutely amazing. I mean, you was at their game, wasn't you, against Belgium? But their fans are really that good, because they actually sound amazing. I'd love to see them in reality. Like,
yeah, the atmosphere they create with the drums, and then
clapping.
the drums that and then who.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I was sitting in the Iceland block, and so I was joining in with the who.
Yeah, that would be brilliant. I mean, when we was with the Sweden fans, they were brilliant. And I was trying to join in with their chants, but obviously you can't understand what they're saying. But it was great, and the Swedish fans were brilliant actually. So I kind of hope Sweden do quite well. I'm sort of a secret Sweden fan now, having sat with their fans for a game, and it was just brilliant. Although obviously I love Holland as well with Viv and Gio and everybody else. But yeah, that is the atmosphere in the stadiums has been just amazing, and it's a completely different experience to watching a WSL games. It's been a different experience to watching, previous international games. It's just been completely a breath of fresh air, hasn't it? Terry says, if not 12-0 and end on 21 goals. What do you end on 21 goals for? I don't understand anyway. I'm sure we're not going to win 12-0, are we? But anyway, who knows? After the other night, anything's possible with this team, isn't it? But I don't think we'll win. I don't think we'll win 12-0. To be honest, I'll be reasonably happy just by winning the game and try not to concede a goal. If we can get through the group stage without conceding a goal, it'll be good. And then win, get the 9 points, don't concede a goal, and then we go into the quarterfinals in great form. But yeah, I would expect there to be a few changes tomorrow. I would expect 4 or 5 possibly. That's my feeling. That she'll make a few, and hopefully. We should, as we said, we should still be strong enough to beat Northern Ireland fairly comfortably, I would have thought. But fair play to them. I'm sure they've enjoyed the experience of being in the Euros, and that's how they've given everything, haven't they? You can't criticise them for anything. They've absolutely given everything in both their games so far, and I'm sure they'll give everything again. I mean, when we played them at was it at Wembley when we beat them 4-0 when Beth Mead? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? When Beth Mead got that hat trick. I mean, it took us 60 minutes to score against them then, didn't it? So they'll give everything. It's not going to be an easy game. But ultimately, we should have the quality to win, and I'm sure we will. So, but yeah, so that'll be interesting there. France are still winning 2-1, by the way, against Belgium. So they are looking on the way to winning Group D. So the only group that won't have been decided in terms of the winners yet is Group C. That's going to all go down to the last game because that's quite a tight group, isn't it? It's between Sweden and Holland, obviously. One of them two is going to win the group. It's going to depend on the results on the last game. But England have won Group A, Germany have won Group B, and as things stand, France have won Group D. Although there is still over half an hour left still for Belgium to find a goal, but France have been much in control of this second half of this game, and I can't see Belgium coming back again. They did get an equaliser briefly in that first half, but I can't see them getting anything from this game. So you'd imagine that'll be that, and the quarterfinals will start to take shape now, won't they? As we go into the final round of group games starting from tomorrow. Of course, Group A is going to be concluded. Who do you think will qualify then, Andreas, out of Austria and Norway? Obviously, we've beaten them both. They've both beaten Northern Ireland. So. Oh, is there going to be another goal? Oh, it's a good save, actually. Who do you think will qualify then? Because obviously, as things stand, obviously Austria are slightly in control in terms of goal difference, aren't they? So if it was a draw, Austria would go through, wouldn't they? But how do you see that game going? Because that could be quite interesting, couldn't it, to see who qualifies there?
Before the tournament, I would have said Norway will beat Austria. No question. But now the situation is different. Austria will be runners-up in the group if they draw against Norway. And we all saw how difficult it is to score a goal against Austria. They have a really strong defense. Maybe Laura Winwater can be back after a positive COVID test. And the defense with Karina Wenninger, Vicky Schnaderbeck, Sarah Sadrasil, and Manu in goal, it's difficult to score against them. The question is how is Norway dealing with this disaster? Will they shake themselves and say, okay, let's forget this and go on? Or will there be problems amongst the players? Maybe players like Marnielde, I saw that he was shaking her head and was shouting angrily to her defender colleagues. if they have problems within the team, so you made the mistake, you were not running, you did not do what we said before, then they will have real problems against Austria. But on the other side, it's possible that they say, okay, better lose 8-0 once and then win 2 times 1-0. It's okay. It's better than we lose 3 games 1-0. So it can be a new start for them if they clear everything within the team. Norway is the better team. They have the better players. Of course, they have better attackers. Normally, they should beat Austria, but it will be very, very tough. And Austria would be through with a 0-0. So maybe it will be a 0-0, or Norway will score 1 goal, then they go through with 1-0. We had this discussion in the German talk. We all would like to play Germany versus Austria because there are a lot of Austrian players in the German Bundesliga, and it's like sisters playing against each other. So it would be a special situation. But I think for me, Norway is still a little bit stronger, and it won't be easy to play Norway in the quarterfinals. The same is for England. It won't be easy to play Spain. Before the tournament, we said Spain is one of the top favorites for the title. And now you get them in the quarterfinals and say, oh, let's look for the semifinals or for the final. Now, playing Spain will be very, very difficult. And for Germany, it will be difficult against Norway. Or against Austria, you have to score against these defense. It's difficult. So I think there will be interesting group matches in the third round now, and everything's open.
No, I think so. Yeah, and I mean, I think that I agree. Austria are very, very difficult to score against. They're very organised. We saw how they got through the tournament last time. By being so solid at the back, and you can see them doing that again. We only scored that 1 goal. It didn't even go in the net, did it? It just kind of sneaks over. And that's the only goal they've conceded so far in the 2 games. So, Norway need a response, don't they, from that game the other night? They have to have a response, quite honestly, because otherwise they're out. And that will be an interest in many ways. And, as much as obviously we're going to watch the England game on the channel and stuff like that, but the Austria-Norway game might end up being a bit more of an interesting game, actually, because it's very, very difficult to call, isn't it? And both teams can still qualify. So there's a lot riding on that game. And I think that's going to be an interesting game. Obviously, we'll have that playing in the background as well. But that's going to be interesting to see who qualifies out of there. Now, there's still, of course, in Group B, which obviously the game on Saturday, Spain against Denmark. Both teams there can still qualify, can't they? Because Denmark have got 3 points, Spain have got 3 points. So that game's going to come down to, again, the draw's enough for Spain, isn't it? Because of the goal difference aspect. But Denmark, who knows? Did you think Denmark can possibly beat Spain and make it through? That'd be a shock, wouldn't it, if they did?
It would be a total shock if Spain would be out. But the Danish team, they will analyze the match Germany versus Spain. They will see. We have to accept that Spain will have ball possession. They will have 70% ball possession against Denmark also. But it's possible to beat them, although you have to score a goal and then work hard in defense. And it's possible to beat Spain. So the Danes will have seen this. They will analyze this, and maybe they will try similar tactics like Germany tried. Of course, the early goal helped Germany very, very much. This terrible mistake from Sandra Panos, she won't make this terrible mistake again, I think. But
you can't afford to, because, like you said, if Denmark score first in that game, that's going to be really interesting, because Spain obviously have got issues with goal scorers. We know that the players they've got missing, 2 of the best players that would have been at the tournament. And, that could end up being really costly for them, couldn't it, potentially? Because we saw against Germany, as well as Spain played, they lacked a cutting edge, didn't they? And they never really looked like scoring a goal. And if that's the same against, yes, obviously Denmark aren't defensively as strong as Germany. Of course, Spain will have more opportunities. But if they can't score, they don't score. Denmark have got quality. We saw obviously Pernille Harder scored that goal the other night against Finland, a good goal. And that's what they can offer a threat, can't they? Denmark up the other end of the pitch. So that's going to be an interesting. There's two interesting games there actually to decide who gets the second place in these two groups, and which obviously then decides who plays who in a quarterfinal. Which so there's a lot riding on these next couple of games. Certainly from our perspective, from our groups, but coming together, and even more from the other groups as well, because there's still a lot to be decided, isn't there, going into the last group games, which is good because it means that if the games mean something, all the group games mean something, then you tend to get better games. I mean, I know the England game doesn't mean a lot, the Germany game doesn't mean a lot, but they're both going to want to win to finish the group off in the right way, to go into the quarterfinals with that momentum going still. So, but yeah, I can see there being two tight games there: Spain, Denmark, and Austria, Norway. Really tight games and difficult to call who might get the result and go through. Yes, Spain and Austria are probably slight favourites because they only need to draw, but who knows? You can't play for a draw in these games because it can cost you, can't it? Sometimes you need to win the game or try to win the game. So they're going to be interesting games. But yeah, obviously we're looking forward to the England game tomorrow in a nice relaxed atmosphere. We haven't got to stress about the result. I was stressed against Norway for about 10 minutes at the beginning when Norway had a lot of the ball, played quite well, and I'm thinking, this is a bit, could be a bit nervy, but then we got the penalty and everything just fell into place. But it's going to be nice to watch England with no real pressure on it, which will be good, and hopefully we can produce a good performance and enjoy the game. That'll be a good way to finish off the group. So, looking at the way things have gone so far, and obviously we've played pretty much, just the last half an hour of this France game, and that's 2 rounds of group games finished for everybody, which obviously Germany and England have been the best 2 teams. I think we can definitely say that. Which has been your favourite game, the best game that you've seen, would you say, so far?
It's between the England-Norway game and the Germany-Spain game. Maybe the Germany-Spain match was more intense, and it was more exciting because although it was 2-0, so 1 goal for Spain and everything would have been open. And the England game against Norway was decided at halftime. It couldn't happen anything. But maybe the better football was to be seen from the Lionesses. This first half was the best football we have seen so far in the tournament. But the match Spain was better because it was thrilling until the last minute.
Yeah, no, it was. And I mean, that was a good game. I actually really enjoyed the game last night between Holland and Portugal, actually. I know you was maybe travelling back, perhaps you didn't get to see that, but that was an exciting game, actually. Portugal gave it everything, and, they were unlucky maybe to lose that game, but that was a good game of football. Just, end-to-end stuff, really. Both teams had lots of chances. It was a close game. Portugal came back from 2 down, and it looked like they were going to cause a shock. And then, obviously, Van der Donk pops up with that great winning goal to win it for. And I really enjoyed that game from a neutral perspective. Obviously, the England game has been the standout game of the tournament for me, the Norway game, obviously. But that, from a neutral perspective, that was probably the game last night was probably what I enjoyed the most, just because it was just 2 open teams just going for it a little bit, really. Lots of goals, lots of excitement. So I really enjoyed that one. But yeah, obviously, Germany-Spain was a very technical, a very good technical game, wasn't it? 2 very, very good teams. I thought that the Holland against the Sweden game was a very good technical game as well. I really enjoyed that and the atmosphere in the stadium and stuff. But yeah, probably that Holland-Portugal game so far for me was the game I enjoyed watching from a relaxed, just sitting down watching a game of football. I really enjoyed that. I didn't have any real preference as to who won, so I just enjoyed that game. But yeah, there has been a lot of good football played. I mean, I've enjoyed all the games actually to varying degrees. There's been some great football and some great goals, and it's been a pleasure to watch. But yeah, that game's probably just slightly, obviously, apart from the England game, as we said. Although I did actually enjoy. Well, I say I enjoyed the Germany against Denmark game. I enjoyed it from a certain degree, but obviously looking at how good Germany played, I was quite worried at that time because we'd struggled to beat Austria. Then you see Germany do that. I was thinking, wow, they've just wiped Denmark away. And Denmark, of course, reached the final last time and stuff like that. And that was a little bit worrying. But So I enjoyed it to a certain degree, but I found it quite stressful thinking that we might play Germany. And I'm thinking, no, we don't want to play Germany because they're too good. But obviously, the way we beat Norway, I don't worry about Germany anymore. Well, I do, but not at the moment because we can't beat you until the final. So we'll see. Terry says, what a goal by Davy. It was a fantastic goal, wasn't it? Brilliant strike from her last night. That was a great goal. A good enough goal to win any game, and it did. Puts Holland in a strong position to get through and to hopefully progress. And I say if they finish runners up, Holland, I'll be at their game against. Look like it's going to be France at Rotherham next Saturday. That'll be a good game in the last quarter final. That'll be an exciting game. Two really good teams. I mean, France are a good side. There's no doubt about that. Are they quite as good as Germany and England? I'm not sure if they are, actually. I think they're maybe the third team. I mean, I know obviously we've got our own interests. I want England to win. You want Germany to win. But after watching all the teams play so far, a couple of games, who would be your favourites to win it?
After the two group matches, of course, I have to say the Lionesses were the best team so far. And Germany on second, France on third. And then maybe Sweden, Netherlands had a lot of bad luck with two injuries early in their match, and then two positive COVID tests for Jackie Groenen and Biff Miedema. So I must say that I was happy that the Netherlands yesterday won against Portugal, because with all this bad luck, they deserve to win, and we all know they are the better team compared to Portugal. And so Netherlands should go through to the quarterfinals. So far, they haven't proven that they can be title contenders this year. But that Groenen and Miedema come back, then they are a better team. And
they are. I mean, I at this moment in time, I know sometimes certain teams will really step up in the knockouts, don't they? They may struggle in the group a little bit, get in the knockouts, and then really step on and step up a level. And maybe that's what we'll see for maybe Holland or possibly Sweden. But so far, I would be amazed if one of England, Germany, or France don't win the tournament. I would be quite surprised if the winner isn't from one of those three. Whoever it'll be, we'll have to wait and see. Germany and France could meet in a semi-final. That'll be a hell of a game, wouldn't it? If that was the case. But you know, at this early stage, it's difficult to call it. But at this moment in time, from what I've seen, I think they're the three best teams. And I think that the way that the draw is working out, I think one of those three is probably going to win it. And two of them will probably be in the final. That's what I would guess at the moment. But as I say, you know, if Holland, when they get their players fit back, they're going to be a better team than what we've seen so far from them. So they could be the dark horses maybe from the knockout stage, perhaps, if they get through, which I'm sure they will. I think they just need a draw, don't they, in their last game to go through. So I'm pretty sure they'll probably get it. So that's all to come really, as the tournament kind of, you know, a lot of times people say that the tournament doesn't start until the knockout stage. That's when it really gets intense and interesting. And this is going to be no different. I mean, some of these quarterfinal games the matchups are just going to be incredible, aren't they? It's going to be 4 fantastic games, and then you know, who knows, a knockout game anybody can win, can't they? It's not, you know, the group games, there's a little bit less pressure on you in a group game because you can lose a group game and still qualify. You lose a knockout game and that's it. And you know, you've got the prospects of penalties and all this kind of extra time and God knows what else. It's going to be the knockout stage. I think is just going to be incredible, and I'm really looking forward to those games as well. But we've still got some good group games to come, as I say. You know, a lot of things still to be decided, who's going through and who's coming second in the groups and stuff like that. So it's going to be a good few days still coming up at the weekend, and that more great football. Starting, of course, tomorrow with the England Northern Ireland game. So we'll be coming live. We'll start about 7:30 for that one, so we can go through the team lineup and sort of, you know, get into the atmosphere. And obviously, we'll look at the Austria-Norway game because that's kicking off at the same time, isn't it? All the final group games kick off together. So we'll be looking at that, updating the score just to see who's going to come second in our group, who's going to qualify with us, and hopefully it will be a good performance from England as well, that we can enjoy a few more goals, 4 more goals for Terry's sake maybe. Terry says Viv should be back as well. Yeah, I believe that she's fine in terms of there's nothing wrong with her. She's just got to wait for a negative test before she can rejoin the squad. But I'm sure she'll be back. I think they're playing on Sunday, aren't they, Holland next? So there's a couple of days for her to get herself the negative test that she needs. Hopefully Jackie Groening will be back for that as well, and that will improve their chances, and I'm sure they'll get the result that they need. Sweden as well aren't quite there yet either, are they? So they need Holland are slightly ahead on goal difference, aren't they, so far in that one? They've scored more goals rather, so Holland would be winning the group as things stand. But two interesting games there to come on Sunday, and then the group stage finishes, of course, on Monday with. I mean, France are still 2-1 up, actually. So Belgium have had one or two counter-attacks which could have brought them an equaliser, but France have just missed 2 or 3 good chances to seal this, actually. And if they don't win this game now, they'll be kicking themselves because they've been the better team. They've had the better chances, but they haven't managed to get that third goal to really seal it. And you never know, when you're only 1 goal up. You saw last night at the Holland game, Portugal came back and got an equaliser. So I wouldn't rule out Belgium quite yet. There's still 20 minutes to play, but we would imagine France will probably get the result here and win the group. And then we'll see who finishes second. Will it be Iceland or will it be Italy? That's going to be interesting. Last group game there, isn't it? To see who goes through as the second place team in this group. Could even be Belgium if they manage to pick up the result here, but I personally can't see it with the way that game's going, but we'll see. So anyway, fantastic. Terry says you're doing a live on the England game tomorrow. So yeah, I'm doing that tomorrow, Terry. Yeah, at 7:30 I'll go live for that one. We're doing a normal watch along of that game and a few updates from the Austria-Norway game as well, just to see who's going to qualify there, and hopefully it'll be another good performance from the Lionesses. And I say obviously the competition is going to be decided tomorrow as well. So if you haven't entered yet, this is the CD that you can win. It's called The Beautiful Game. It's signed, as you can see at the bottom there. Pete Drake and Kay Spink have signed it. There's 2 great songs on there, The Beautiful Game and Left Foot, Right Foot Header. So if you want to win it, all you need to do is subscribe to the channel and predict the number of, basically you've got to predict the number of goals England are going to score tomorrow, essentially, but it's how many we're going to finish the group with. We've got 9, so add 9 onto whatever you think we'll score tomorrow. That would be your guess. If you get it right, you can win this CD. I'll get it out in a post to you straight away so you can enjoy it for the rest of the tournament. Brilliant. And you can support the Lionesses on the journey through, hopefully all the way to the final, where it could be quite a good final, couldn't it? If it is England against Germany, we'll have to get Andreas on. We'll do the watch along, get Andreas in. It'll just be brilliant. But we'll have to see. We can't guarantee that's going to happen yet. There's a lot of football still to be played. A lot can happen in the knockout stage. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow at 7:30 for the England game to conclude Group A. So that'll be good fun, I'm sure. So thanks to Andreas for joining us. Good to see that you had a good time in London. You enjoyed yourself and you saw some great football. And obviously you did some great vlogs for us as well. I must admit, I feel as though the vlogs that you guys have done, the ones that you've done and Matt's done and Amar, I think they've really added some really good content to the channel, give people an opportunity to experience a little bit of what it's been like at the games. And it's been brilliant, actually. And I think it's really added something special to the channel as well. And hopefully everyone's enjoyed that side of it as well. It's just a little bit different, isn't it? It's a little bit different. And, I haven't seen any other channels that's had vlogs of so many different games on. So that's been good as well. I'm still going to a couple more games, so I'll have a couple more vlogs to do. Amar's at the game tomorrow, so we'll be doing a vlog of that one as well. So there's another one that we'll have on there, which is brilliant. I think Matt's going to a game or two as well, maybe as we go through. He's at the final. He's got tickets for the final. I mean, wow, how lucky is he going to be if it is England and Germany? That's just going to be incredible. I'm still trying to get some, but I don't think it's happening at the minute. No one's going to sell them yet. Maybe if England aren't there, it'll be easy to get them, but then we don't want them then, do we? I suppose, but anyway, the attendance at the France games 8,173. It says at the France-Belgium game. It's at Manchester City's Academy Stadium. It doesn't. Oh no, it's not. It's at Rotherham. This one, isn't it? It's at Rotherham, which holds about. Is that 20,000 or something? Rotherham holds, isn't it? I'm going there next Saturday. Actually, Rotherham. I've never been to that ground before, so that's going to be a new experience to go to that new ground. I went to their old ground a couple of times. But yeah, so that's all coming up tomorrow. So we'll be live at 7:30. So yeah, so thanks to Andreas. Obviously, thanks for doing the vlogs for us. Been brilliant, absolutely fantastic to see them. That was great. And I say it's good that you had such a good time in London and enjoyed obviously the two Germany games in particular, which are fantastic performances from Germany. So it's all been good stuff. And I say we'll be back for the England game tomorrow as usual. So don't forget, last chance to enter to win this CD. It is really good. It's fantastic, and you need to win it. So just predict the number of goals England are in the group with. I would maybe guess more than 9, just in case because we've scored 9 already. Maybe stick with 9. It might be 0-0. Who knows? But anyway, have a guess, and if you get it right, Terry's guessed 13, and he's desperate to win it. So you need to stop Terry winning it. So guess something other than 13, and you might be lucky, and then you might win it, and then Terry will be absolutely gutted, and he'll never get over it. It's going to ruin his summer. It will if someone else wins it. So have a guess to stop Terry winning. That's what you need to do. So that'll be obviously tomorrow. We'll announce the winner at the end of the game tomorrow. If there is a winner, there may not be because no one may have got it right. But anyway, we'll sort all that out tomorrow night. So join us at 7:30 for all the build-up, the team lineups, and everything else, and then obviously the full watch along of the game. And I say updates from Austria and Norway as well. And then after that, we'll be back on Saturday for the usual show. Looking, obviously, Germany are playing on Saturday. So is that 8 o'clock kickoff, Andreas? Do you know?
Yes.
It's 8 o'clock. So what we'll probably do then is go live earlier, maybe 7. We can build up to that game, and then obviously we'll finish before so we can watch it. But we'll do that on Saturday. Obviously, look back on the England game, look back on our Group A's finished, who's qualified, and then we can look ahead to the Germany game as well, which will be great, I'm sure. Terry says, glad you had a great time, Andreas, and thanks for drinking our wheat beer where you've been over here. Have a safe journey home, mate. Great show again, Richard. I see it. Yes, it's more. I know Andreas is home now, so he did have a safe journey home. He's got home fine. He's home. He's back in Germany again. You're not coming back, are you, for any of the other games now? Is that you done now? Is it, Andreas, for this tournament?
Yeah, unfortunately, no more live games. But it's the problem with work. I have to work. I had 1 week holiday, and so I included 3 matches in this 1 week. It was fantastic.
And ABBA as well. And ABBA, don't forget.
Sorry?
And ABBA as well.
Yeah, but now... I made also the Wembley Stadium tour, and this was fantastic. And the tour guide, just to say this, he mentioned so often that the Euros are currently running, and then when we were in the dressing room, he said this is the dressing room where the Lionesses will use for the final, and this is the dressing room for Serena Wiegmann, and so he was also telling a lot in connection with the women's Euro, and this was also great to hear. So if you do the Wembley tour during the year or another time, there won't be anything about the women's team or about Serena Wiegmann, but right now, and so another good sign that it's coming to the mind of everybody in the country. Once again, the atmosphere is growing, and I was happy to be there, and I was proud to have my contribution with the blogs for this show. This was fun for me, and if you enjoyed it, that's great. So thanks for having me in the show.
No, the vlog would be fantastic. Your mate got the score right as well, didn't he? He said 2-0 against Spain, didn't he? And he got it right, didn't he?
Yes, my friend Andy. I interviewed Andy and Isabella. Andy said 2-0. Yeah.
He did. He got it right, didn't he? That was a good guess actually, because I'll say I wasn't expecting Germany to win that 2-0. I've got to be honest. So that was a great guess. So for him, he got that right, didn't he?
They made the Wembley tour to this morning, and in the afternoon they were at the Emirates and made the stadium tour. Yeah.
Wow.
So I told them so much to do these tours, and I said, if you find time, not only do the Wembley, do the Emirates tour, and they did it today afternoon. So,
the Emirates tour is fantastic.
Arsenal kid there.
How brilliant! Good stuff. I mean, we did the Emirates tour when we were down for the Wolfsburg game. Actually, that was brilliant. Which I've never done before. Funnily enough, you never think about it really. When you're at a game, you just come down, you go to the game, you go home. You don't think about doing a stadium tour because we were there for a few days. Why not do it? And it was brilliant. Actually, I'm glad I did it. It was a good day. Really enjoyed that. But yeah, Wembley. I've never done a Wembley tour either. Actually, I've been to Wembley loads of times. I've never been on the tour, so maybe I need to do that at some point. Maybe next time I'm down, I might maybe do a Wembley tour. Because last time we went, we tried to go to the England game that we're playing when we trying to get tickets on the day when the Arsenal Tottenham game was called off. We had nothing else to do, so we thought we'd try and get. We went to Wembley, we couldn't get a ticket in the end, but obviously they would do a tour when the game's on. But yeah, that was quite good. Terry says, I've never seen you so anti on anything apart from giving away my CD to somebody. No, I've got to be impartial, Terry, haven't I? I mean, ultimately, you get 13 right at the very beginning, and if you deserve to win, I've got to be honest, it deserves to be 13 now. So you kind of do deserve to win it, but I want more people to enter, don't I? So I need to be impartial until tomorrow. But I'll actually, if you don't win, if someone else wins, because it's not 13 goals, and maybe Russ said 14, if it was 14, I'll actually be quite disappointed that you haven't won, Terry, to be fair, because you were brave at the beginning to guess that many goals. When you put your guess in, I was laughing at you, thinking, well, we're never going to score 13 goals. And now we're just 4 away with one game against Northern Ireland, so you've got a big chance. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. It's going to be exciting now, isn't it? And somebody hopefully will win. And maybe it will be Terry, so we'll see what happens. Terry says that if you do the tour after the Euros, you see the winner's trophy at Wembley and Leah holding the trophy above her head. Well, maybe there might be some pictures of Leah holding it above her head inside the stadium, maybe, if you do it after the Euros, we'll see. But there is still a long way to go. Let's not, let's remember what Serena said. Keep our feet on the ground. Let's be humble. Let's take one game at a time. And let's see where we are. Let's not get carried away yet. We haven't won anything. We've won 2 games and we need to win another 4. Or we need to win another 3. Tomorrow doesn't matter too much, but we certainly need to win the other 3. So let's just keep ourselves, not too excited yet. But yeah, I must admit, if we're in that semi-final at Sheffield that I'm going to, I might get a little bit excited that night. So that vlog could be quite interesting to watch if that happens, because I will be quite excited if that's the case. But I don't want to get too carried away yet, because anything can happen. Anything can happen. So we know what can happen. But yeah, so we'll be back to Adelaide for 7:30. So we're going to see the England game. We're going to see who wins the CD, and then we'll be back on Saturday as well to preview the Germany game, and also look ahead to the conclusion of Group B as well to see who we'll be playing in the quarterfinals as well. That'll be good to see obviously on Saturday night, to see who we get to play, who will be playing in the quarterfinal. That is going to be another tense night, I'm sure. So loads and loads of great stuff. We're here every night looking back at the Euros and looking ahead to the games and stuff like that. And I say, hopefully we have a lot of a lot of England stuff still going on all the way through the tournament to the end, because hopefully we might stay in it for the next couple of weeks, which will be great, wouldn't it? So anyway, thanks for Andreas, obviously, for joining us tonight, and thanks obviously for the vlogs that you've done as well. Brilliant stuff. And are you going to be around on Saturday, do you think, then, to pop on before the game, or will you be busy? You watching it out, or you be at home?
Oh, I will be home, and I can join in on Saturday at 7, no problem. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, we can say look at the Germany game, and see how that goes, because that's going to be a good night as well. Some good games coming up actually over the next few days. We're going to enjoy it, and it's going to be good. So yeah, France are still winning, by the way, 2-1. There's about 8 minutes to go. It looks like France will win, so that this group will be sorted out, or the winners will be sorted out tonight if that's the case. But we shall see. You never know. There could be some late draw. There hasn't been too many late goals, has there? Like late winning goals or anything in this tournament so far. That's the one thing it's been lacking, hasn't it? A late equaliser or a late winner. It seems to have been. That doesn't seem to have happened in any of the games so far. So a little bit of late drama wouldn't maybe go amiss in this game. Maybe Belgium sneaking one right at the end. But we'll see what happens. But that's maybe the one thing we haven't had so far. But maybe the knockouts will bring some drama, won't they? I'm sure they usually do. But we will see what happens there. Terry says, I was going to say 19, as that's my door number, but you made me go lower. Because you were taking the mickey. Well, no, I mean, you could guess whatever you wanted. I mean, I thought 13 was so. If you had said 19, then I definitely would have laughed at you. But as it turns out, you might not. Well, I don't know. We're not going to score that many, are we, tomorrow? Probably. But my door number is 124, so I'm not really going to guess that, because that's too many. Maybe 12. See, I'd have probably gone for 12 actually, but that would have been probably me just on that basis, maybe. But I didn't even think we'd score this many, so I'm not. Especially after Austria, we only scored 1 against Austria. I'm thinking, well, we might score 4 or 5 in the group, and that'll be enough. But anyway, we'll see what happens tomorrow. It's going to be fun, isn't it? So join us at R7 tomorrow. So thanks to Andreas. Thanks for you guys for watching. Please give it a like before you go. Don't forget to put your guess in to win the brilliant CD. We're going to play out always as we do with the song "The Beautiful Game," which has got a very 80s electronic feel to it. It's very, very good. And this is what you can win if you guess. Just put your guess in. put your guess in before the game tomorrow, before it starts. It'll be nice. And then you never know, you might be winning this fantastic CD. And it is great. So enter that tomorrow. Right, we'll see you tomorrow, guys. Take it easy. Come on, you Lionesses. Let's do this tomorrow. Let's get the win and move into the quarterfinals. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks to Andreas, as always. We will see you tomorrow at 7:30. Take it easy, guys. Speak to you later on.
Bye-bye.
There's shin pads, hairbands, rainbow laces, brand new fans and different races. Another camp with COVID cases, an England squad with brand new faces. Here we go, the summer's here. Meet your friends and grab